Hey folks, welcome to the KO show with your hosts Dima
Netzer.
and we're back in the studio because we really want to reflect on a hell of a night.
UFC 252, where I got
yeah.
every single one of my fucking predictions wrong.
Oh my god,
So
that
was a rough night.
that was not only a rough night for you, but a very funny night for me because you were so mad about it.
I was so salty.
You were
dude.
so mad
Honestly,
about it.
it wasn't even that I was mad. I was sad as fuck, dude. I was like out here balling up a storm after Cormier lost, bro. Listen,
Yeah, I think a lot of people were sad because it was his
last fight.
It was his last fight, man.
Retirement fight, but respect him. He says he's not coming back, and I believe him. Most fighters come back because they got that good payday.
Mm-hmm.
But nah, he's turning 42 now, I think, and he's calling it. He's a great he was a great champion. He was a great fighter.
Yeah, Cormier will forever, regardless of what people say, regardless of the fact that he lost. I don't think anyone can argue the fact that he will go down as one of the best to ever do it.
Yep.
I mean, what a trooper, what a soldier, man. He brought a lot to the game. He brought a lot to the game. And it was regardless of Cormier losing or not, it was very entertaining to watch. It was like two titans going into that cage and just letting it all loose.
Right.
I
mean, it was a beautiful match, dude. Like it was really interesting because it was a rubber match. It was that third fight. But what made it really interesting was, the first fight, Cormier caught him, and he did fucking. I mean, it was phenomenal. I was like, whoa, what the fuck, right?
Yeah.
Second fight, Cormier was doing really good, and then Stipe just got it. He just got that body shot.
Caught him.
Then the third fight, what was really interesting is they both you could see their different reads. You could see what they got from the last fight, right? You could see like Cormier when he usually got his shots off in the clinch, right? That with that dirty boxing style. Stipe saw that and he was ready for those shots and he didn't get knocked out. He didn't get too stumbled by those shots. He was getting hit. Don't get me wrong. He was getting cracked by a lot of shots, but he read them. He did this good. He did what he had to do, and then Stipe was doing what he had to do again by throwing those body shots early. So you saw in the first round, he was throwing a couple body shots, a couple right left hooks.
It was interesting because it almost seemed like Stipe did all of his homework.
Yeah.
He really, really analyzed the kind of fighter Cormier was and maybe what he was ready for it. He was ready for everything that Cormier threw at him. I mean, even Cormier trying to take him down, that was it the first round that happened, just stuffed it, and it just seemed like he had an answer for everything Cormier threw at him. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Cormier also did really good with his shots. Like he had pretty good game plan too. He just couldn't get those takedowns. I remember he was saying in his corner, he just wasn't seeing the looks. Maybe it was a cardio issue too. I don't know. But he was also doing good. He saw that Stipe was going for body shots. Instead of he sort of mixed it up and he sort of stopped those body shots. I mean, he didn't completely stop them, but
it's pretty hard to stop a body shot.
Yeah. Man. What's really interesting is that Cormier has this weird thing where he does this hand play thing. So he does he has this strange guard where he plays with hands. But when he did that makes his body open.
Yeah.
So that was the shot that Stipe was like, okay, I see it. So and that was, first of all, that was a really great offense because for an offensive fighter, for a striker like Stipe, if somebody's playing with your hands, then you can't get your shots across. So in the second fight, that was fucking up Stipe's rhythm, and it was letting Cormier come in and get rock him a little bit. And since Stipe already knew the counter for that hand play is the body shot.
Yep.
What Cormier had to counter is he had to pull his hands back a little bit, which made his offense degrade.
Yeah.
So what he had to do was go for the takedowns, but it seems like he wasn't getting those looks. He tried in the first round. He had Stipe against the fence, but Stipe, once he had him against the fence, Stipe had an underhook, and he seemed
double
to just,
under.
and he just seemed to just dig into Cormier's body and punish him.
Yeah, it was very, like I said, Stipe was very, very well prepared for what Cormier had coming coming on. I looked at a couple interviews afterwards, and something that I heard was Cormier was really concerned about his cardio.
Yeah.
Going up to the fight. So it almost seemed like Cormier, as the rounds were going on, was just that. I mean, he was so concerned about exerting so much energy because if people don't know, taking someone down is a lot of effort.
Yeah.
Putting someone on their butt is a lot of effort. And then as soon as you use that effort and put them on their ass, way easier for you, right? You have a little bit more of a control if you know what you're doing, especially a guy like Cormier who's really, really good at wrestling, right? But something it didn't go his way, man. He tried for the takedown, and it almost seemed like after that first one, he was a little too. I don't want to say paranoid because he has the heart of a lion, and there is no paranoia, but almost seemed a little concerned.
Right.
After that first one didn't go through, that he wasn't getting reads, and
there was something about that first takedown which just made him like not confident and throwing anymore. Like again, he was talking to his corner. He just says, "I can't see him. I can't see him, coach." Something like that. And I don't really know what Stipe did. Like there might have been the body shots. It might have been getting up really fast. All of that together might have been it. Stipe was really ready. I got to give it to him. He had an amazing game plan. He's an amazing champ. He's the GOAT now. I also got to give it to Cormier though. Like he was blind in his left eye, I think.
Yeah, for 2 rounds, right?
For the end of the third, I think, or something like that. I don't know. I might be wrong. But what's really interesting, you got to give Cormier credit for was he won the round right after he was blind.
Yeah,
pretty much. What's weird is that the ref didn't stop the fight. Because, I kind of liked that he didn't, but usually if a fighter says, "I can't see," and he did say, "I can't see,"
but to his coaches,
the ref, he did say it to his coaches, then the ref might stop the fight. But, like, Cormier he just looked like he was dead-eyed, you know what I mean? Like, and he really couldn't see. You saw him at I think it was the fourth round, and he had his arms out because he was trying to reach for Stipe because he couldn't see with his left eye.
Right.
So it was weird.
He still won that round, though.
He still won the round, so you got to give him credit.
Yeah.
But Stipe was just the better fighter that night. It's sort of sad because, Cormier's had such a legendary career, and it's great that he's such a well-loved fighter now, but, like, back in the day, people used to hate him.
Hate him, right, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they were just like, he's not the real champ because he lost to Jones, or he didn't get the belt from Jones. And I don't know, man. Like, he apparently he seems like such a nice guy. He probably is the same guy that he shows on TV and on screen.
It's pretty hard to, because we've seen him so much. Him being an analyst, him being a fighter, him being even a coach. We've seen so much of him that it's almost like every single time we see something that he does, he has that same positive attitude, and it's pretty hard to fake that so many times, you know? So I'm assuming he's a genuinely really, really nice, really top-notch, legendary guy.
Yeah, it is what it is. He couldn't go on top. And unfortunately that is going to be a defining factor in his career. But we have to remember that on top of all that, he's legendary.
Yeah.
He was double champ. He knocked out one of the GOATs. It's been decided Stipe is still the GOAT of the heavyweight division. Yeah. But regardless, it wasn't a fluke. Nope. DC knocked him out cold. And he became a double champ. Yep. That's one of the things that's gonna define his legacy. He was a champ in the light heavyweight division, beat everybody except for Jones. Like, he beat Rumble Johnson, he stacked him. He did everything he needed to do. He was also a heavyweight champion in Strikeforce, undefeated. Just an amazing fighter. He was on the Olympic team. Just what an athlete. Yeah. What a guy. What a man. He's gonna define what it is to be a man for wrestlers to come after him and for his children. So just a legendary figure. Yeah,
really stand-up guy. Yeah. Congratulations to Stipe, and honestly, regardless of the fact that he lost, congratulations to Cormier because, hanging up those mitts and still being in the conversation as one of the GOATs and still pretty much cementing his place in the UFC Hall of Fame at this point.
Yeah.
By him retiring. I mean, he's still at the table. People will forever remember his name, and congratulations to him for, hanging up those mitts, like I said. Another fight that we kind of wanted to analyze a little bit, and I guess the more controversial one would be the Sean O'Malley, Chito
Marlon Vera.
Yeah, man.
Oh my
What'd
God.
you think about that? What'd you see? I know there's many interpretations. What did you see?
Listen, I only watched the fight for once. I didn't notice Marlon Vera's leg kicks that much. Really, I noticed that O'Malley was going to the legs a lot, and maybe it was a check, maybe it was Marlon Vera's kick. I got to rewatch the fight because I don't know. But they're saying it was a Marlon Vera's kick. But everybody knows that O'Malley he rolled his leg, and after that his leg was just fucked.
Yeah.
So they're saying that Marlon Vera hit him with a kick, loosened up his calf, and then he rolled his leg, which is possible, right? I mean, it's actually it makes sense. Sean O'Malley has amazing stand up.
Mm-hmm.
He practices his footwork all the time. Making a mistake when it comes to footwork is an oddity. That's rare.
Yeah.
Like you usually wouldn't do that unless there's something weird going on.
Right.
So it makes sense that he did get a leg kick or something, and because of that, he just couldn't plant his feet right and rolled his ankle, and that's fighting.
And that was a nasty roll, man.
Listen, man, it just bent in a way. It was weird. Like I don't know. It was disappointing too. I was on the Sugar Show. I still am. I don't like the people that sort of bounce off.
Yeah.
I think O'Malley still has a lot in him. It's one loss.
Yeah. He's 25. People forget that he's a kid. Yeah. Man. He has so many years.
Every UFC fighter, almost every single one, except for Khabib and. I think this Shazmat does he have a loss? I don't know. I don't think he does.
Your guy.
She might have. Yeah. Another big guy. In the UFC. But it's a one loss. It is what it is. I would really like to see a rematch. Honestly.
Yeah.
I think that Sean O'Malley was doing really good in that first round.
Mm-hmm.
He was landing the majority of leg kicks. He was doing pretty good with the striking and the offense. Even when his leg was kind of fucked, he was sort of ramping up the offense, which I think you would do if you knew that you were fucked and you probably couldn't go the rest of the rounds.
Right.
But then he tripped.
That trip was nasty, man.
And then he fell.
Listen,
and it is what it is.
At the end of the day, man, he's so young.
Mm-hmm.
He's still such a great fighter. I mean, listen, it's fighting, It's fighting. Like you're gonna get hurt inevitably, You're gonna get hurt. You're trying to knock someone out. You're throwing leg kicks like you want to take someone's leg out. So inevitably, someone's gonna get hurt, and it just wasn't his night, man. He whether it be a kick from Cheeto or him maybe like you said checking a kick, something had to have messed his leg up, and something and it's I was rewatching it a little bit, and specifically that moment. And that first step afterwards was nasty, man. He just completely rolled his. And he's such a. This is something that we were talking about before we started recording. He's such a stand-up guy, and he's such a zigzag guy. Like his standing game. I mean, he's constantly
he doesn't stay
moving
in place, right? He's always moving, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why he's such a great striker because he's not gonna stand right in front of you,
right?
Like. Cody Garbrandt doesn't exactly do that, but he's more of a pit bull. He's going to come at you and to your and you're his target.
Right.
Sean O'Malley is definitely a headhunter, but that's just what's been working for him. Yeah. But he's a creative fighter. He's gonna feint. He's gonna feint the body shot like what he did with what he did in his last fight, and with Wineland. And I mean he's a fantastic striker. He's a purple belt in jiu-jitsu. He's got so much. A lot of
assets, man. A lot of assets. Yeah. But yeah, man. I mean, we saw it, bro. You again going back to this, very a very jittery fighter, a guy that's always moving.
Yeah.
You take that leg out, man, and that's that takes a lot away, and he was obviously in a lot of pain. So I'm glad the ref stopped that, especially when Cheetah got on top and just
He
started
landed that
pounding
elbow.
his
So
face in.
he landed that elbow and just
Yeah.
looked like O'Malley was out.
Yeah.
O'Malley was like he lost consciousness for a split second after Vera landed that elbow, and then the rest it was just it was the right decision to stop it. I mean, what are you gonna do? Even if Marlon Vera got off him, Sean O'Malley wasn't gonna get back up. He literally couldn't. He couldn't stand up on that leg. You saw him getting carried out of the damn ring. He could barely stand up to get for like the fighter announcement to announce like who won the fight.
Yeah.
I feel like there's definitely gonna be shade on Marlon. Like there's a shadow behind Marlon Vera's win because of that little leg action.
But if anything, I've seen a lot of guys jump on his bandwagon.
For sure, the Cheeto show.
Yeah, man.
I mean, listen, man. I'm still. All credit to Cheeto, right?
Yeah.
Like he's an amazing fighter. He's been in the UFC for so long. What people don't know is they were actually supposed to fight, I think, a year ago, before O'Malley got his like USADA weed suspension, whatever the fuck. And yeah, they were supposed to fight. So we might have seen this fight earlier if it wasn't for that suspension. So now we saw it. We saw the end result. I want to see a rematch. I think the rematch could be pretty big. Cheeto's now built up. He's in a great position where he's took some of that swagger that O'Malley had, and he stopped that. He stopped that fucking moving train.
Yeah.
But O'Malley would be back. I think.
Dude, O'Malley would be back, man. Yo, just O'Malley, bro. Heal that. You know what I mean? Heal that leg up.
Yeah.
He'll heal the leg up. He'll go back into training. And he's still such a headhunter and such a good fighter, and he still has that juice, you know what I mean? That I'm sure, he will never have problems finding fights, So all we need is for him to heal up quickly. And Cheeto, man, at this point, like you said, man, he took some of that steam out of that engine, and is using it for himself now, which is good. And I'm sure we'll see him in the ring very soon too, to capitalize on, to kind of anyone that had any doubts about him winning against O'Malley. I'm sure he would like to shed a lot of people up with his next fight. So
for sure.
We'll be excited to see that, man. Let's move on to the other heavyweight fight that I was not expecting, to be honest with you. The Dos Santos, man, Rosenstruik fight, man.
That's weird.
Wow.
So, that wasn't weird. Fucking Rosenstruik was just demolished. Dos Santos. It was a good couple rounds.
But I think me and you both came into it thinking that Dos Santos was going to take this one.
Yeah, I think now he's on a 3-fight losing streak.
Yeah,
so we'll see what happens with Dos Santos. Yeah. But Rosenstruik coming off a knockout loss and then given a knockout.
Yep.
That's a good look for him. It's a good comeback, yeah. Now he wants to call out Ngannou again. He wants to call out the murderer of Murderers Row, the fucking top honcho of all the fucking bad honchos, right? Man. Like this is what a guy. He's got some balls on him, some cojones, some shit like that, bro. But all credit to him, man. Like Dos Santos I thought that his experience and his amazing striking ability was going to give him that dub. Yeah. But Rosenstruik's kickboxing and amazing power just came through and got that KO.
Yeah, man. I think it just really came down to youth. I think it came down to youth. Of course, Dos Santos is such a. Listen, bad man in the heavyweight division. That's another person that has a really good argument for being considered like one of the top fighters in the division.
Sure.
It's been around for a very long time.
Trilogy
a lot
fight.
Of experience.
Yeah, trilogy fight. Just amazing fighter all around. 100% agree. It's just father time gets everybody.
Yep.
Dos Santos does have that skid. He's still a phenomenal fighter, and that experience is going to take him a long way. But I just don't see him against the top tier. I don't see him like winning against Stipe. I don't see him winning against Ngannou. I agree. And Rosenstruik he's a great fighter, but I still don't see Rosenstruik on the same level as an Ngannou. Right? Ngannou's gotten so much better, not only his striking, his wrestling defense. He just seems like he knows where he's at. He's more confident. He's been humbled, so he knows he's taking it in strides, the title shot. And he's got his confidence back. Like I remember right after the Stipe fight,
swagger back, baby.
Yeah, right after the Stipe fight, he took that L against Derek Lewis. And we were expecting fireworks. That was the most boring fight in all of UFC history. I say that's the most boring fight I've ever seen. But yeah, it's what it is. They were both being really cautious. And it is what it is. But again, all credit to Rosenstruik. And Dos Santos, apparently one of really nice guys. Still got his family. He's got his experience from the UFC. He's a former champion. I mean, of course, as a contender and as a competitor, he always wants to look up. Right. At the same time, he's gone to the highest peaks that there is in UFC history, so he's already won.
Yeah, man.
He just wants to keep on winning, which is all credit to the competitor.
That's how you know a person's a really true competitor, is the fact that no matter, where they've gotten to, they still want to go out there. They still want to, these guys are doing 3-month training camps, like where they just cannot do the things that they're so used to doing as a regular human being, like the eating, the dieting, the training, the waking up at a certain, there's like so many different things that people aren't aware that goes into prepping for a fight on any level in the UFC. That, the fact that he's still coming out there and he's still he's still interested, he's still always trying to get fights. That says something within itself, what I mean? So
for sure.
We'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. Speaking of heavyweight, right? Something that has just happened very recently. Would be the John Jones thing,
vacating
right?
his
lightweight heavyweight title, man.
All the sharks in the light heavyweight division are out here. We got that one fight, Reyes versus crap, I forgot his name. The Pole, this legendary guy that knocked the fuck out of Corey Anderson.
Yes, he did, man.
Right on the tip of my tongue. It is what it is. But that's gonna be a crazy fight. Now John Jones looks like he's looking towards the heavyweight division, which is stacked with some crazy fighters. We've got Stipe, the GOAT. We've got Ngannou, another Jan
Polish
Blachowicz.
fighter.
Jan Blachowicz. Crazy. That's gonna be
no
one crazy fight.
Man. Legend.
No disrespect, legend. My bad. It's my bad that I forgot your name, man. But again, that's going to be a crazy fight. Yep. I think Reyes takes it with his amazing striking.
Listen to me, man. Reyes should have took it the last fight, man.
The last fight, the Jones
Holy
fight.
Crap, man. Yeah. That fight was just amazing, man. Talk about someone giving Jones a taste of his own medicine.
Listen, I've never seen Jones on the back foot like that.
Yeah.
Jones is such a creative striker, but Reyes is a better striker. It just looks like Jones just outlasted him. And won those championship rounds. Yep. I think that I gave it 3-2 Reyes, but Jones stuck it out. You have to beat the champ in order to be the champ, and he didn't beat him with the championship rounds.
But now he has a chance.
It is what it is, but now he's got a chance to be the champ.
Yep.
That everybody wants to be.
To make his own destiny, bro.
Yes, sir. A crazy athlete, too.
Man. Football player. I think he was a college football player, right? At some point.
Something like that. Yeah. I think he wanted to go to the NFL.
Just amazing athleticism.
Smidge, didn't make it. Transferred that over to striking, the UFC, and you can see it.
And it's amazing what he's accomplished in such a short amount of time, right?
Yeah.
Like coming from a sport, granted, football, similar to fighting in that there's a lot of contact, right? It's a contact sport, but coming from football to fighting and just dominating like the way he had and is currently is just almost unheard of, for a fighter to just go in there and practically knock everyone out, put up a hell of a performance not almost every single night
for sure
that he's been in that cage, get signed by the UFC, just completely demolish people in the UFC all the way up until the very top.
Right.
Arguably John Jones, but again, like I said, now he has that opportunity. Now he has that chance to cement his name with that belt, baby.
Into those light heavyweight champions. This is going to be the first time in a long time that guys called John Jones or Daniel Cormier weren't the fucking light heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
But listen, going to Jones, I know a lot of people are going to be, biting their nails hearing that Jones is going up in weight, man.
DC said that Jones is just a lot stronger than you think. And Jones is a tall motherfucker. He's big too.
Yeah.
He's definitely not like huge and powerful. He doesn't have like that Stipe, or he doesn't have that Ngannou power. There's no way you can compare him to Ngannou, but he's got that just crazy otherworldly IQ.
Yeah, he has an IQ, man.
And he's got that creativity. What he tries in the gym, he'll like throw over into the UFC, into his matches, into his fights, and
that nasty kick, those nasty kicks that he uses for spacing and just to tweak the hell out of your foot.
Yeah, fucking crazy elbows, slice you up.
Crazy elbows,
amazing
man.
In the clinch,
dude. Amazing stamina. That guy just keeps it coming. He just chases, man.
He sees you hurt. He pulls up a Ferguson. He sees you hurt, and then he'll finish you. He'll finish you. He's slow, methodical, and fast, and like a tiger if he needs to be. He just knows what he's got to do. He knows how to pick people apart, and he knows how to adjust. That's like the Mayweather factor. He knows how to like, okay, this was the plan before. It's not exactly working. Let me change it up. Okay, see, maybe it's a body shot. You know what? With Cormier, let that left head, that head kick, and that's it. Just call it a night. He knows what to do. And that's just that ability to adjust is really, it's interesting. That's really what makes the champion great, right? Like you can have the athletic ability, you can have the power, you can have the durability. All that is great. All those are fancy factors. But once you're in it, it's a completely different game. I think Mike Tyson said it best. Everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face, right?
Yeah, damn right.
And that experience of getting punched in the face, it's something that you can't experience unless you get punched in the fucking face, right?
That's right.
And it's a weird, shocking thing, and there's so much adrenaline going through your head. It's weird to think while you're in that octagon, and to be able to like, okay, this isn't really working, right? We've been working for like on throughout our camp, or 3-month camp, on this, but it's still not getting to the guy. How can I adjust this? Like, what am I doing wrong?
What's plan B? Second. What's plan C? Let's think of it all.
Yeah.
Right. Let's not just make one plan going to this thing. Let's have a backup plan if this thing doesn't work.
Right.
And that goes directly into the thing that we were talking about with his IQ. I mean, his fighter IQ is out of this world, you know?
Yeah.
He's a guy that's very malleable, like we said. And he can adjust to his surroundings. He can adjust to the specific fighter.
Yeah.
He can tweak his style a little bit. He can move the pace up or down and around, or he could he's just he's an all-around fighter, man. He's an all-around athlete,
and no matter how controversial he is, right, he's got his antics, he's got all his crazy shit. He's the GOAT though, and it's weird though, like the greats, not all of them, but a lot of the greats, they've got something else. There's something weird, right, like Michael Jordan, great, but crazy gambler, just competitive to a fault. And there's something off. Kanye West, right? I mean, he's a great just fucking lyrical genius, but like,
amazing beat maker and producer.
Kanye 2021, I don't know about that.
2020.
2020? Yeah. Oh, 2020, my bad. There's these geniuses. You've got Elon Musk, who's phenomenal, but also bipolar. You've got there's something different about these people that are the top. Like everybody says that they want to be the next Michael Jordan, but do you really think about it, right? Like, do you want to be so great that the people around you don't really like to be around you because
of your level of perfection?
Yeah.
You're you're right, man. A lot of these legends, a lot of these goats, a lot of goats in any field, they excel at specifically the thing that they're a goat at, right? But outside of that,
they make sacrifices.
They make sacrifices, but they also, work hard, play hard, and sometimes, the way they play isn't necessarily looked at as a positive light, but I mean, the great thing about these people, the great thing about GOATs is they prove no matter what's gone on outside of the basketball court, outside of, the workplace, outside of the, the ring,
you shut
or the
people
cage,
up by being great.
You shut people up, by being great, exactly, right. By proving that all of the bullshit outside, anything that's happened before this moment, I will take this moment and prove to you guys that this is why I am the best.
Right.
And that's what I respect about every single one of those people. And that's what everyone respects about every single one of those people.
Like, you can't, you know what, you can hate all you want. They're still there.
Yep.
They're still at the top.
John Jones has retained his title for forever, dude. How many? Like, must be a decade at this point, right?
He was, and he regained his title.
Yeah, and
right?
regained his title, exactly.
And he regained his title multiple times, multiple suspensions, multiple times coming back and just back again. I won it. You know what I mean? Like, he's always keeping it 100. You know what I mean? Like,
hey, what else? What else we got to talk about? Because John Jones, I'm sure a lot of people love John Jones. Yeah. We love John Jones.
Phenomenal fighter.
But there's a lot of news going on out here. You know, man, we have Costa Adesanya. We have Gaethje Khabib. There's a lot of stuff going on. What do we want to talk about?
Well, we can talk about some recent things like Corey Anderson.
Oh yeah.
He's gone. He did a great job. He was amazing. First of all, he's just an amazing, just disciplined like fighter. Mm-hmm. He just works fucking hard.
Yep.
He might not have the amazing athletic ability, but he's got that work ethic.
Right.
And he just grinded to be at where he was at in the UFC. Mm-hmm. He took an L against Blachowicz, and it is what it is, and now he's going over to Bellator. Yeah. So it seems like he's looking at his options, looking at different opportunities. Maybe the pay is better over there. Mm-hmm. Maybe he just wants a different
He'll be a bigger star over there.
I mean, possibly. Yeah. It's a possibility, 100%. It's his decision to make, and if that's what's right for the fighter, then that's what's right for me. Yeah. I'm still a fan, and go do your bow hunting, man. Go do your shit. Keep on being a badass. I support no matter what.
Yeah, absolutely.
And no matter what, he's always going to be one of those guys that just, like, that he's working hard, so you better fucking work hard too.
Damn right. Bellator, I know a lot of people are going to be shaking in their boots when he gets over there,
Corey
man.
Anderson is quite a fighter.
All the best to him, man. All the best to him for sure, man.
Yeah.
What else we got? You want to talk about the Adesanya fight?
That's going to be one hell of a fight. Man, I love me and Adesanya. Listen, Adesanya is my favorite fighter right now.
Yeah.
For sure. I remember in the first couple podcasts, I started talking about how I love boxing, right?
Absolutely.
And that's how I started getting in the fight game. Just the techniques and like the footwork and all of that was so beautiful. Mm-hmm. Just striking is such an art. And then I went to UFC, and then after that, and then I saw Adesanya, and I'm like, let me check out kickboxing because this seems kind of fucking cool. Like this guy just went just phenomenal fighter.
Yeah.
And it's amazing history in kickboxing.
Yeah.
You can see he's like the new and improved Anderson Silva.
Yeah.
You saw it in his fight. Like it was a striking match, mm-hmm. but it was the skilled, like high level feints.
It's chess, man. Another chess game.
Anderson Silva. That's weird, right?
Yeah.
Anderson Silva was that top guy. He was that top notch best striker in the UFC. Now it's Adesanya. The baton
and you know what
passed.
What was really amazing to see is that amount of respect that one man had towards the other.
Yeah.
The fact that Anderson, I feel like almost knew that this is exactly the person that I want to pass the torch down to.
Maybe.
And if not that, then he definitely respected the athleticism and the amount of knowledge, fight IQ, athleticism, everything from like the small, like the combinations and the kicks and everything like that. I mean, you can tell that Adesanya in that cage after that round 5 was done, or was it 3-rounder?
With Anderson Silva,
yeah.
I think it was 3.
Or after that third round, after the fight was done, he was impressed, man. He was impressed by what he saw, and he really respected the game. So it was nice to see, man.
For sure. I mean, Adesanya respected the fuck out of him. That was his favorite fighter.
Yep.
So it was a different, like he said it himself, it was a different type of experience fighting the guy that you've been watching for years, right?
Yeah.
So I think that. Low key, Adesanya didn't put everything. It seemed like he didn't go all out in that fight because there was something weird.
I agree.
Like he saw Anderson Silva do a move, and then Adesanya was like, "What are you doing? Put your fucking hands up! Don't do that." And he was like, "Yeah." Then he said in an interview, he's like, "Yeah, I don't know why I did that. Maybe there's something in my head. Like I want to fight. I want to fight Anderson Silva all the way. I don't want some weird bullshit that might make me win. I want everything. I want the entire experience." But listen. Dude, knocking out fucking Whitaker. What the fuck? Going 5 rounds, the 5th round, fucking knocking out I can't believe Still, well, either way, just an amazing fucking fighter.
Are we gonna not mention the fact that he won against Yoel Romero, man? I understand that a lot of people think that's a boring ass fight,
for sure,
but coming out of a cage with such a monster, dude,
right?
Going 5 rounds, getting the points. I agree. It was a boring fight, but what could he do?
Yeah.
Like the closer he got, the more that chance that he had of getting just completely demolished and knocked out in one blow. You know what I mean? So he played a very smart fight, but just getting that dub against such a monster, and now we have. Bull number 2,
monster,
dude.
Bro.
Bull number 2. These guys, Yoel and Costa, man.
Yeah.
Bulls, bro.
Well, here's Paulo Costa versus Yoel Romero, right? That was a crazy fucking
insane
fight. It was so beautiful. Sparks were flying. Blood was all over the place. You might have not won in that fucking front row because you were gonna get fucking blood in your mouth or some shit, bro. You're gonna get something.
Yeah.
But listen, dude, we don't really see people like moving forward on Yoel Romero. Like usually Yoel Romero is the aggressor, but Paulo Costa was giving it to him.
Yep.
He had him with some solid fucking shots, shots like a kick to the head. Yoel was still there, but Paulo was still there, and they were just fighting.
They both got a couple knockdowns on one another too. Man. Yeah. So it was an all-out fight, but this Adesanya Costa fight, I think it's going to be different than the Yoel Romero fight, right? Something that you said that you predicted, and that you're not only predicting, but you're saying this is the way he fights is where Yoel Romero is standing back and waiting for his opportunity. We think that Acosta is going to bring it to him, no matter what. He's not going to wait for that opportunity. He's just going to get in his face and just go at it.
Costa is like a bull, where Romero, his striking style is like, I know I've got power. I just need to catch you, right? And that's what he was sort of doing.
Very opportunistic fighter.
Yeah. But Costa makes those opportunities, right? He's gonna come forward and he's gonna fuck you up if he can do that. You saw that against Uriah Hall. Uriah Hall, like, he was looking great. He had great striking, but Costa was just smothering him with fucking shots, and I mean, he won, right? Yeah. So that's what Costa does. He's a fucking juggernaut. It's crazy that he's even a fucking middleweight. He can be a light heavyweight. He could be a fucking heavyweight if he wants to. He was like tweeting John Jones. He's like, saying light heavyweight division, I'm coming for your ass, right? Like he's a big boy. He's a big boy.
Yes, he is.
But I think that's gonna work against him in this fight because Whitaker, right, the fucking GOAT. Right, well, one, like, not a GOAT, but like phenomenal fucking
definitely
GOAT caliber.
GOAT caliber,
definitely
for sure.
GOAT caliber, top tier fucking fighter. He employed that strategy against Adesanya. He employed that strategy of moving forward, of trying to like let his fucking hands fly. But Adesanya just caught him with traps. He caught him moving in, slipped his shots, got him with a counter hook. Almost stopped him in the second round, I think, and then completely stopped him with a third round, throwing up that machine gun. Just who says I ain't got no power? Fucking, he's got them shots. He's got that accuracy.
Yeah,
and
he's a very, very particular and accurate fighter, right?
Right.
He knows where he wants the punch to land. He knows what pace he's throwing. He knows what combinations he's throwing. He's very, very in tune with where he's hitting his opponent.
I think Adesanya, one of the most phenomenal things about him is he's top of the top tier with feints.
Yeah.
And because he does a bunch of things. He'll feint the leg, he'll feint a kick, he'll feint his fucking strikes, and then he's setting up so many different traps with that. He's that type of fighter, just like with Anderson Silva, where you know that this motherfucker can take you out in 300 different ways. He's just waiting for an opportunity. He's just waiting for a little slip up. Yeah. And if you're gonna come right at him, that's perfect. It's like the spider himself, Anderson Silva. It's like you're getting caught in his web, right? And that's not exactly how Adesanya fights, but it's a cool comparison because that's what happened with Whitaker, right? Whitaker. So Adesanya was playing some traps, and Whitaker was falling for him. He was moving forward. He was doing what he thought he had to do in order to get that dub. And moving forward was the strategy that's worked on Adesanya before, right? So Whitaker was like, let me do this because he's masterful at what he does. But Adesanya caught him. So if we see a similar strategy strategy with Paulo Costa where he's going to come forward, and we see that he does come forward, then he looks like he's going to take the dub. Well, looks like Adesanya might take the dub, but here's the thing. Paulo Costa has to come forward because he can't, in order to win the fight, he's going to have to like hurt Adesanya.
For sure.
Because otherwise Adesanya is going to piece him up just on the outside, right? Mm-hmm. He's going to do what he has to do and he can get to a point, win by points just through that. Exactly. If Paulo Costa
That's
plays
what he did
safe.
against Romero,
Exactly. Yeah. Just throw some leg kicks, jabs. He's a long fighter, and that's how he can win.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So Paulo Costa, he has to come forward, but he definitely has a strategy, right? He definitely has something that he sees in order to get that dub. Maybe it's a knockout. If we see a knockout, that's gonna be fucking wild.
Yeah, it would be insane.
This is the UFC. This is striking.
Yeah.
You can always just one shot can change everything. It's just Adesanya. He's been so experienced and he just loves the stand-up world so much that he's been with powerful fighters. He's been with better strikers than Paulo Costa.
Yeah,
for sure. And he knows what he needs to do in order to win on the stand-up. That's what makes him so great, that he has I think he's got an 80% or 90% takedown defense. Mm-hmm. So as long as he can keep it where he knows that he can win, he's gonna be on top for a long time.
Right.
It's sort of like the Khabib dichotomy, where as long as Khabib uses his platform of the ground, and as long as he can keep it on the ground or get that takedown, no matter what,
he's good to go, man.
10 out of 10, he's gonna win.
Yep.
As long, again, if their game plan, and these are the weird types of fighters where you have to prepare for them.
Yeah,
they'll prepare for you somewhat. They'll watch tape on you, but you really have to figure out how to break down their strategy, right? Because that's the interesting thing about specialists, right? Like they're so masterful at what they do that people have to figure out how do I get through this fucking maze.
Well, the biggest difference I see, we're a little bit ago comparing, right, the Whitaker fight with Adesanya to kind of Acosta now, right, is the size difference. Like, that's the biggest thing. Like, this guy, I mean, regardless whether he sheds that 30 pounds or however many pounds he has to get to make that weight, but dude, he is massive. Yeah, man. Like, his bone structure is on a different level. Man.
They're saying, fat people are like, I'm thick boned or whatever the fuck. No, this motherfucker's thick.
This guy is not only thick boned, he's steel boned. You know what I mean? Bro, Adesanya is gonna have to really, really pick him apart to definitely either get that TKO or to really hurt him bad.
Brazilian Superman out here.
But I don't know, man. I think Acosta, if anyone, has the highest chance of really going in there and winning this one, man. Like, I still think that Izzy has definitely the upper hand in this one for sure. And if I had to pick someone to win, actually, I won't give the prediction yet because we're not there that close yet. But Acosta has a really good chance, man. He has a really good chance, like you said, as long as he brings that aggression, as long as he brings that high pace, as long as he gets in his face and doesn't allow Izzy to have that time to think and to pick you apart, and he keeps it a close fight, then he has a very solid chance of taking this one.
If I think Paulo Costa, just going to your analysis, if Paulo Costa keeps it at a high pace and makes it a war, I think he can get that dub.
Yeah.
If Paulo Costa can just make it a back and forth, then that's Costa's arena. That's where he's going to do his best. That's where he's going to land his shots. Absolutely. And that's where he's going to get that win. So I think what he has to do is this is why this fight is going to be so great. He's going to have, Paulo Costa is going to have to lay on that pace.
Yep.
And if he doesn't do that, he's going to lose.
Yep.
The thing is that it's a scary thing to lay on that fucking pace with a guy that's such a sniper.
Yeah.
Right? Adesanya, they're saying that he doesn't have the power. He definitely has power, but what he really has is something that I analyzed before with Conor McGregor. He has that accuracy. Mm-hmm. He knows when he knows where he's going to hit you, he's going to hit you right on that chin. He sees your chin, he's going to get it.
Yep.
Right? That's going to Conor McGregor. It's just Conor does definitely have an amazing left hand, but what he has more than anything is
that accuracy, man.
Hitting you with those shots. He's not missing.
Absolutely.
And Adesanya will hit you with those shots, and he'll hit you with shit that you don't see coming because he's such a creative fighter. He'll throw fucking so many feints. You're thinking that a fucking kick is coming to your head. It's really like a right hook or whatever the hell he's gonna throw.
Absolutely.
He's different. He's different.
Yeah, I agree, man. He's different. So in order to wrap this thing up, I feel like this is a pretty good time to wrap it up. We just want to say thank you guys for really sticking it out with us, coming, to the show, listening to us, viewing this. We really appreciate your guys' support. This is a new show, so any kind of likes or comments or subscriptions, those would be really greatly appreciated. We would love to have those, and we would also love to talk to you guys. If you have any comments, shoot us a comment. We'll answer it. We'll maybe even talk about it. Not maybe. We will talk about it on the show.
For sure.
If anyone has a comment or something that they would like for us to talk about. Yeah. So please, don't be shy. Comment.
Give us ideas.
Give us ideas, right? Like we always love talking.
If you want to hear something, we'll definitely talk about it. If you got a question that needs answered, we'll answer it to the best of our ability. We're guys just like you. We're fight fans. Yeah. And all we're doing is we're recording our conversations. And that's what's so great about this show. Mm-hmm. It's just two guys that are pretty much just guys that love to watch UFC. Mm-hmm. And this is a conversation that you'd have in a fucking night out with the boys.
Absolutely.
And now we're recording and we're providing it for you guys. So if the great thing is that we love our fan base because y'all are just like us, right? Yep. So having that interaction of what you wanna hear is what we want to talk about, and what we want to talk about is what you want to hear.
Absolutely.
So that's what makes us different. That's what makes us special, and that's what makes y'all great. So without y'all, there's no KO show.
No us, man.
And it's a fantastic experience. It's gonna be a great ride.
So thank you guys so much, man. And to wrap this up, we'll see you on the next one.
Episode of the KO Show. Have a great one.
Thank you.
Thank you.